Have you ever had to clean up a mess? And as you're cleaning up the mess turns into a bigger mess before you clean up the mess? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to talk about. My mess. Have you ever had to clean up a mess and then you usually make more of a mess than the mess you already had to clean up that was a mess? And people say, "What a mess." And you're like, "Well, I'm cleaning it up." You got some job on your hands. What a mess. Have you ever had to clean up a mess and then you wind up making more of a mess than the mess you originally had? And then you got a bigger mess that you got to clean up? Either way, it's still a mess. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to talk to you about as soon as I get right back from my mess. Hey guys, it's Joseph Diego here from josephdiego.com and Growing with Joseph Diego, where I share my journey with you as I grow from the ordinary to the extraordinary. So hopefully we just might grow together. How's everybody doing today? Yep, here I stand in my work shirt and long johns and flip-flops. You can't see that part, but I'm telling you, it's a mess. Everything is a mess. My office is a mess. My bedroom is a mess. The living room is a mess. When my wife walks in that door, it's going to be some mess. But that's her mess. This is my mess. My bedroom upstairs, I have to take care of that because I kind of made that mess. And that's digging through all my work clothes because it was cold this morning. I had to get some good stuff up and I made a mess. Now, this is what we're going to talk about today. Messes. You see? When we clear up a mess, what we do is we recover what we originally wanted. And this is what we're really, really going to dig deep into because this is one of my best topics. This is one of the favorite things I love to talk about, and it's recovery. Yeah, recovery. No, not so much from just drugs and alcohol. But the thing is, I found out in life that we have a lot of addictions. We have all kinds of addictions. But first of all, let's look at why we do what we do, whatever it is that we're addicted to. I mean, we have people that have addictions to alcohol, right? Have people that have addictions to drugs. You got people that have addictions to sex. Ooh, baby. You have people that have addictions to food. You have people that have addictions to shopping. You have addictions to people that have addictions to television, gamings, you name it, people have it. I mean, I can't wait. Randy Gage, that's the guy I was thinking about the other day. Randy Gage wrote a book. I forget what the name of the book is. But in his book, he was talking about, what is it? Virtual sex. That's going to be, they're predicting that's going to be a big they're going to have rehabs for that in the future. And I can see it happening. But here's the thing, guys. Why do we get involved or hooked to these addictions? And now, again, let's go back to this. Depression is an addiction in my eyes. I mean, I honestly think that depression is an addiction. Why? Because I can see myself falling into that one. And this one is my personal opinion with depression. Laziness is an addiction. Sloth, being lazy. And there's different types of laziness, which I'm addicted to one of them. I'm addicted to one of them. I'm addicted to television. That's one addiction that I have to fight. But let's talk about recovery. Why do we do these things? It's because they're a form of escape, right? They kind of make us feel better. They let us get away from our current situation, our current problem. Now, I say this because let's go back to my addiction, to my drugs and alcohol, my thing, right? And there was a little bit of sex in there also. I had this little addiction with that too because that all was like a big package that came together. And the truth was, it all made me feel good. I always thought that that's what I always wanted. I always thought that this is the way I wanted to feel for the rest of my life. Why? Because it made me feel good. But deep down inside, I found out when I sobered up and I spoke to my sponsor, who wasn't Richie B at the time, Reiki Pete. Pete tells me, I'll never, and this drove me nuts because Pete used to always speak to me in riddles. And Pete would say to me, Joseph, Joseph, Joseph. Now, many of you may not know this, but I was on probation for like a real long time. Like 18 years. Shh, don't tell nobody. But yeah, I was on probation for 18 years of my life. And Pete told me, Joseph, Joseph, what you have now is what you always wanted. You always wanted to have a good life, right? And I said to him, no, Pete, I didn't want recovery. That's what he said. It was recovery. He said, Joseph, you always wanted recovery. I said, no, I didn't, Pete. And he says, yes, you did. I says, Pete, look, how could I have wanted recovery when I was on probation all those years? And I always kept trying to fool the system because that's what I was wanted. That's what I wanted. That's deep down inside. That's what I wanted. And he said, no, Joseph, that's not what you wanted. I say, Pete, it was for 18 years of my life. Well, 15 of those 18, I was active. Okay, I was actively drinking and drugging. And for 15 of those years, I kept, excuse me, trying to play the system. Trying to BS everybody by telling them, oh, you know, by completing whatever programs they had, doing everything else. But then when it all ended up, I wound up back with a bottle in my hand. And I says, no, Pete, I didn't want it. He says, yes, you did, Joseph. So as time went by, for some reason, every time this guy spoke to me, he spoke to me in riddles, but it was riddles that always revealed themselves. And here it goes, guys. Yes, it was. Yes, it was what I always wanted, but I was always looking in the wrong place. That comfort that we get in whatever addiction it is that we have, whatever addiction it is that we have, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's sloth, if you come home and you just want to go to sleep, and that's your habit that you have every day, and you use the excuse that I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired. Well, you know what? Maybe you'll be tired if you have to work 18 hours straight every day. I hope you don't have to do that. Or even, I work 8 hours and I come home tired. I got to tell you that. But the average is 8 to 10 hours, 7 to 10 hours every day most people work. And yes, we do come home tired. But what happens is that we've been telling us that also every day when we come home, that we are tired. And now here's what happened with me and how I started to realize this whole tired thing and how I was full of shit. There were guys that I work with that are in worse shape than I am. They smoke. They don't take care of themselves. They don't do nothing. But these guys would go to work after work. I mean, remember, guys, I talk about this all the time. Look around you and you'll see the truth. These people always went to work after work and did more. Yet these guys were in worse shape than I am. Same age, maybe a little older sometimes, maybe a little younger, but they were in worse shape than I was. They didn't take care of themselves. They didn't do nothing with themselves. And they weren't tired. So what was the difference between them and me? Everything I said to myself up here. And I kept saying to myself throughout my addiction that this is what I always wanted. And to tell you the truth, it wasn't. It really was this, what I have now, what I always wanted. Everything that I was looking for in that addiction, I found it in my recovery. You see, my recovery gave me back my dreams. By me taking my head out of my rear, that's what happened. It came out one day. I said, wow. And I saw what was going on, and I saw real life. And then all of a sudden, that my head was clear. These dreams and these ambitions that I had from when I was younger started to come back to me. And I was like, wow, you know what? I can do a lot more. And this is what happens. Our addictions hold us back from those dreams and those possibilities that we have in front of us. So the thing is we have to clean up that mess. But what happens is we got to go through a bigger mess to get to that mess and start sorting that out and finally start getting things in order. And eventually you start to see your desk again. Even though my desk is nice and clean. But you start to see the floor again. Well, the floor is not that bad. I'm working on it. I don't want to show you this. It's bad enough that I don't want to show it. But that's what happens. We start taking care of our mess. And little by little, you know what? It's gone. And we have order back in our lives. And we can really get the opportunity to do what we want to do. So you have to take a good look at what it is that's holding you back. And guys, I could be simple little things. There's another addiction of mine, my family. Today I made plans to do all kinds of stuff. And you know what? I've been upstairs hanging out with my grandson all afternoon. And I got to be honest with you guys. I didn't do much today but make this video probably. I did a couple of little things, but clean up my office a little bit, but that's it. A couple of goals I did accomplish, but I didn't accomplish all of my goals for the day. And why? Because I fell into my addiction again. And again, some of these addictions aren't all that bad. And, you know, we can justify them. In my mind, I can justify the fact that, listen, you know what? This is time that I'll never get again with Jaden. Because first of all, today's Tuesday, so it's the night that I have to make dinner for my wife. So as soon as I come home at 3 o'clock, I had to go get Jaden at the bus stop. Even though he's a big boy, I still walk him back from the bus stop. Picked him up, came home. I took a little nap. I do take a little nap in the afternoon. Or did I take a nap? Yes, I did. I took a little nap, a quick little nap. 15 minutes, not even that probably. Didn't do it in front of the television because I've said it to you before. The TV and the couch are bad news. But then I came downstairs, and who's down here? Mom's. And Mom's has the TV on, and I start to watch whatever court shows she's watching. And I'm justifying it with myself. And I'm telling you, another addiction is my family sitting there talking to my mother. And there's times that I have to pull myself away from that. And that's something that I have to work on little by little, gradually. Because I just don't want to be rotten to my grandson. And I don't want to be mean to my mother and say, I got things to do. I don't have time to be hanging out with you. Because you know what? One of these days, my little grandson isn't going to want to be hanging out with me. And one of these days, I won't be able to hang out with my mother. Because she just won't be here anymore. And so those things, I can justify it in my mind. And I'm not going to have any regrets. I'm going to come back and do what I need to do. But we have to watch those things. And be careful that we don't really allow them, you know, find that balance. Especially when it's something precious like that. But there's other addictions that we have, like that television. I stayed away from that one until I went to my mother's room. And then I made dinner. Had a quick dinner with my wife. And then all of a sudden, my grandson wanted me to say, Grandpa, let's build this model. And I said no at first. Next thing you know, I'm sitting down on the floor getting all the pieces together, building this nice little thing. And we built the car and did everything we had to do. And now I'm here. He's upstairs watching TV. I'm down here doing this. Because you see, here's what it is, guys. When I speak to you, I learn. When I speak to you, I get better. When I share what's going on, the truth, I do what I'm supposed to do. And my true intention is to help you through my challenges and through what I've learned, you know. And in recovery, I've learned so much. And I know I can help anybody that wants to recover from everything, even a bad relationship. Even bad relationships, because I've recovered from those also. Many relationships. I have amazing relationships, and I have to be careful with those. I was this morning, I was contemplating speaking to an old girlfriend of mine because I have relationships with my old girlfriends because we didn't break up in any very negative way. I just married one woman, so I still have a friendship with them. My wife allows that, but I'm thinking in my head, why am I doing this? You know, when I have the most wonderful woman in my life right now. So again, going back to honesty, guys, honesty. And maybe that's another addiction that I have that doesn't serve me here. This is where my focus needs to be. I'm identifying that, and it doesn't need to be. I'm here. This is why I wanted a home business, so I can be with my family. So now I have to separate with kindness and do it right. And it'll happen. It'll happen, all right? So I share this with you because maybe you find yourself in the same situation with other things in your life, other challenges that you have in your life that are holding you back from achieving whatever it is that you want. And again, I'm not only talking about making money. I don't want to be one of those guru type guys that talk about making you rich. I'm talking to you about achieving whatever it is that you want in your life. Because that's what I'm talking about. Because that's what I'm working on. A little bit of everything. Because that's what life is. It's complete. It's not just being rich. It's not just having the good looking girl. Okay? It's not all about that. All right? It's not about just being muscular and stuff like that. It's about having that balance, So I hope what I said resonates with what you're going on through with. If you know me, I don't tell nobody to comment, like, or share, but they're always welcome one way or the other. If you want, it's open. If you don't, that's fine too. But I gotta try to do a little bit of work, right? So with that being said, take care. Stay blessed. This is Joseph Diego signing out.